I woke up with fire in my soul, a vision burning bright, a goal to control. The road ahead ain't always clear, but I'm stepping forward, no room for fear. Each stair I climb, a lesson learned. From every fall, a lesson earned. The mind is a weapon, sharp and true. I'm forging ahead, there's nothing I can't do. Think and grow rich, that's the plan. With every step, I take a stand. Climbing the staircase of my dreams, fueled by the power of my schemes. Mind-focused heart on the rise. Achievement is the price I prize. Step by step, I'm reaching high, tuning my mindset to touch the sky. The journey's tough, but I won't quit. I've got the drive, I've got the grit. Each level up, a new horizon, a world of possibilities in motion. I'm sharpening my thoughts, aligning my will, turning obstacles into a hills I can climb. Still the power of belief, it's on my side. With every breath I'm fortified. I'm not just dreaming, I'm in the fight, turning the night into the light. Think and grow rich, that's the plan. With every step, I take a stand. Climbing the staircase of my dreams, fueled by the power of my schemes. Mind-focused heart on the rise. Achievement is the price I prize. Step by step, I'm reaching high, tuning my mindset to touch the sky.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Are you ready to roll into this weekend and into this day? I am so excited you're here. Lots of wonderful things to share with you. And I'm going to sing you in. I see so many of you coming in. This is going to be a special presentation. I have done this before. I'm Leslie Flowers, by the way. I've done this before. Even if you might have seen it, consider that you're at a much higher level of conscious awareness of your infinite potential today than you were when you first saw it, which means you may be ready for more clarity than you might have had before. So I'm very excited to see everyone coming in, and I've got something real special to drop in the beginning. But let me sing this song from the 1940s that Gene Autry. Do you know who Gene Autry is without looking on Google? Well, Think and Grow Rich was written 100 years ago, so that's where I like to stay with music and pictures, etc. And this is Who You Are for Me, every Monday and every Friday. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dears, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, when I lay sleeping, I dreamt I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I I was mistaken. So I hung my head and cried. Welcome in, Josette. So glad to see you. And Jackie Hallberg, happy you're here. Coach Carrie Willis, busy gal. 𝗙𝗏𝗘𝗓𝗏, thank you for being here. Dr. Marcia, so good to see you. Sajid Kumar, especially happy to see you back. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, my dears, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Boy, that was a fun one. 1940. Oh, hush. Okay, there we go. Hi, everybody. Little busy this morning. Mercury is in retrograde, so anything that can go wrong, we'll just blame it on that because it will go wrong. And I've posted the YouTube link in the comments just in case Linky Land isn't playing as nice as we like it to. So I'm so excited you're here, and I've got a big presentation for you today. I hope you've had breakfast and a water or a coffee or a tea, or if you're on the other side of the world, some sort of libation, because this is one you'll have to put your seatbelts on for. You've not seen this unless you've seen it from me. So we said hello, and I'm excited to see thank you for being here, Lay. Lay Scheidel is over on YouTube, and she will happily put in the YouTube link. She does that every week, just in case you keep getting pushed off LinkedIn. But we can have the intention that will be a minimal today, can't we? Not sure who the LinkedIn user is, unless that is Roland in Dubai. And Mary Kay, so happy that you're here. Mary Kay is a book coach, and Carrie Willis is here. Hi, Carrie. And Ronald Henderson is here. Hello, Ronald. So glad that you were able to make it. Yes, Lay has just put in, and you'll see this here, where all the comments are, or the comments from wherever you are watching. Now, when we get to this, I'm doing something special this morning. So if you are on YouTube, you'll want to make sure that the answer is also on LinkedIn in the comments. You'll see why. Let's see who else is here before we get started here. William Rochelle is here. Hi, William. So glad that you can make it. Did you like that Gene Autry song, you guys? I hope you did. Hello, Layla. I'm very happy to have you here today. And there is our wonderful sponsor, Nicole Angai Galindo, Guiding Brilliant Writers Publishing House, specialty in anthologies, but also single books, if that's your druthers. Now, who is Buenos Dias? Okay, so that says LinkedIn user for me. I don't see the name, so you'll have to type in there. Let's see here. And Christy Williams is here. Hi, Christy. She's here just about every week. And thank you all. It tells me a lot when you're here each week. And this is a teaching study, so I'm not going to go into the acknowledgments as deeply as I do on Monday. But I know you're here, okay? And you know you're here. So I'll do the best I can, so we have plenty of time. And Elizabeth Borquez is here with Millie. Millie is her brand new girl Yorkie. And I just wish you could see the bedroom this dog has, but that's another story. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope Millie is listening. Let's see, Leanna is here from Duluth, and Leanna posts wonderful pictures. I was unaware and unclear that she's also a registered dietitian, like our wonderful Lisa Fevick. And there's Linda Meyer. Hey, Linda, she's going to be a teacher on Mind Over Matter Mondays this next quarter, and okay. All right. Well, bring in your friends, invite your friends, and let us begin, shall we? All right. Let me get this like this. All right. So today we have a very special event. And every once in a while, I will open the vault. The vault is something that I've been teaching for 20 years, but not normally, only to my clients. So, but it's because this particular series is about principle, leadership, and universal laws. This is critical for leadership. So you know a lot about leadership. I know you do. But however, what I want to hear today is how this added value to what you know about yourself and your own character and your own level of integrity. So it's a self-evaluation in many ways. It's going to open up a door of something that you haven't seen before. Just don't want to miss anybody. So I'm looking. All right. Okay, so here we go. Let's start here. The first thing I want to do is to publicly thank 𝗙𝗛𝗓𝗓 for being let me just turn this off for a second, our sponsor each week. And let me just do this so we don't forget as we move through. So she is here each week to sponsor this show, and I am forever grateful to her. And one day, perhaps she'll come on here and tell you why she's doing this, right? There's something wonderful about this community that you all are the center of. And so many of you love writing and are connectors like Nicole is. So let me go back to the comments here. Superhero is here. Hello, hello, hello. So glad you're here. So special thanks to you. And also, I need to tell you that the intro and outro was created by Aaron Gibson, Soul Media Live Productions. And keep in mind that tonight at 8 o'clock, Soul Man Live is running. So there are plenty of lives all week that you can attend. Soul Man is one of the ones not to miss. It starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, but the music starts 15 minutes early. So come in and just let your hair down. Okay. All right. We're getting into this, but I want to take care of this first. This is very important, and it can be to you. You've heard me say, and you've seen the promotions. Hey, Ashif, so glad you're here. That next Friday and Saturday is the virtual wellness experience. And it is a super platform. The speakers 1 hour, speak 45 minutes. So you have a break. There are gatherings. It's a Zoom events platform. If you've not been on it, it's really quite nice. And it promotes collaboration. Now, I am a sponsor of this event. And because of that, I get free tickets. I have one ticket for both days. One day is $100, 2 days is $175, and the recordings are available for 30 days. You know many of the speakers, and you can go to Creative Living Ideas and check out who the speakers are. And I have one complimentary ticket. So the first thing is you have to really, really want to go. This isn't just about I won, because what you're going to do is during this broadcast, the best question asked or comment that starts the biggest dialogue will win. And I will reach out to you this afternoon. And so it's a highly valuable gift. And by the way, it also will build up the comments. I don't usually have anything like this, but let's see if we can break 200 right here in this session. So I see Bobby Lee Clark is here. Hey, Bobby Lee. Hi, Ashif. I don't know if Bobby Lee, you heard this, but for this event next Friday and Saturday online, 10 to 5 Eastern, with 15 45-minute presentations of many of the people in this family. So I'd love to see you there. I'm presenting on Friday at 2:30, how to rewire your brain for wealth, health, and happiness. All right, so start now with the comments, those who are on YouTube. If you have a question or a comment, I am going to stop, right, and work these in. But afterwards, I will evaluate, and one person will win. Okay, so here we go. Oops. Well, that was interesting. All right. Everybody ready? Okay, here we go. This event is hosted by the 2350 Network. Okay, so today, this is week 11, and we're going to go beyond 12 weeks because I've already had a couple of special things. So we're going to do the 7 mantras. These are the affirmations that we say out loud or to ourselves that we generate with excitement as though we wrote them. And you know, if you've been here before, hey, would someone page Merrill Cass, please? He's usually here, and he may be somewhere else, but thank you for doing that if you would. So the mantras are based on the 4th principle of success, which is autosuggestion. Repetition is how we learn, and self-suggestion, whether intentionally or by default, without your paying attention, become what you believe. So the 7 mantras are a gentle immersion into your subconscious of character building and leadership characteristics that great leaders aspire to have. And they may spend their whole life working on this. I have been doing that. We never actually arrive. It's always an aspiration, right? In order to get through things more quickly, with less anxiety, to enjoy life so much more. Oh, thank you, Leah. And then we're going to talk about the 7 levels of conscious awareness. Now, this is going to help you as a leader. It also helps at home, but we're going to look at it through the lens of being in business. Whether you're an entrepreneur, small business owner, whether you're in an emerging enterprise or a huge oracle, right? Something like that. Then we'll do a meditation to lock in these layers of awareness. You mustn't forget how to apply them and their power. And then we'll do upcoming events. Everybody ready? So get your questions ready. Get your comments ready, your insights, right? You may be seeing something and you get like everything sounds louder to you as I'm explaining all of this. There's something there, right, for you, because as we focus and as we're reading or listening, if there's an interrupt in our thought pattern, there's something there to recognize. All right, so let's go to the next thing. Now, these are the mantras. Now, another interesting thing happens here. So this is part of your personal growth, your leadership development. I've been doing this work, well, personal development for 30 years. But it's been in the last 18 years that I have deeply embedded my studies into the mind and how our mind works and how it's not the same as brain, as you all well know. And once you understand the distinction between mind and brain, you can do something about your mind. But if everything is attributed to the brain, this organ, you're not going to know how to make any changes. It's with the mind that you can intentionally use autosuggestion to create faith and belief in your ability and your deservability. That's what it's all about, to outweigh your reactive fears, which I'm sorry to say, we have perfect faith in them. We've experienced them. And every time we experience them, we feel lousy again, which further deepens your neural pathways for negativity, which means when something comes up, that's where you're going first. And that voice or that group of voices will stop you from allowing your higher side to express itself. Okay, so let's read these. You can read them to yourself. You can read them out loud. And give me a second to just... And I will read them. And I've been reading them every week for 18 years. Am I perfect at this? Oh, heck no. But I'm very quick at catching when I lose focus. I'm very quick when I didn't complete one of these, and I take action right away. Less anxiety, more joy. Ready, everybody? Here we go. I am my word. I treat every agreement, including those with myself, as I would an appointment with my most trusted and valuable client or colleague. I am proactive. I am the one to make sure my scheduled call is held on time, even if another said that they would make the call. I am disciplined. I complete all tasks, no matter how small. And if I miss one, I complete it within 24 hours. I am focused. I do not allow an interrupt in my plans based on my values unless there is an emergency that only I can manage. Then I reset the original plans. I am motivated. Like today, I show up hungry, eager, and present, even if I don't want to that day or I don't feel like it. I am trusted. I maintain strict confidence with the private information I learn in dialogue with business connections, family, and friends. And finally, I am the mirror of your greatness. I understand that the level of greatness I see in others is in exact proportion to my own. Searching for another's greatness expands my own. So as you were reading this, was there an interruption in your focus on any one of these? And if you want to put that in the comments, like you were reading along, you were expressing, and you tripped on some words, you can put that in the comments and we can take a look really swiftly as to why that happened, because there's something there for you to notice. Okay, here we go. Everybody having a good time so far? All right. Yes, the mind is the Formula One driver, Mary Kay says. Excellent. I'll see if I can bring on the comments in just a second. Okay, maybe I can. Let's just see if I can. Not quite yet. All right, just hang on here. All right, so now what we're going to do is take a look at what we've done so far. And I know I told you last week we were going to do Sixth Sense today. I changed my mind. I get to do that because it's my show. But what we did was, in the 12-week series, it's linear learning with Think and Grow Rich. And it starts with the first 2 weeks all about your definite purpose. You've heard people say, purpose, purpose, what's my purpose? I grappled with it up until about 15 years ago. I was confused, which is a racket, because I don't want to face whatever it is. I'm not ready to dig in. And there's a payoff for being confused. I don't have to do anything. So sometimes when we say we're confused about something, there's a reason. We don't want to. So we often use that as a racket or an example to get out of things. Once you know your definite purpose, it's one burning desire. It's one thing that you are compelled to do. You are driven to do it above all else. And you don't know how to do it. It's just been on your mind for a while. Or maybe it's new, but it stops you in your tracks. If you've ever had a labor pain, it's that kind of stop. You're walking along and you cannot take another step. So the guys won't know about this, and most of the ladies will. But just tell me, it takes over your entire body, your physiology, your nervous system, and you listen. So once you know that, now the first principle of success is desire, which is the starting point of all achievement. And here's where you see the world through the prism of this thing that you have a desire for. You don't have to think about it all day long, but you'll notice people and opportunities are showing up that take you right to that goal. People are thinking the same thing you're thinking. You can go into a networking room with an intention on your mind to find a partner, if that's what your desire is, to expand your business. And when you set that before you go in, I will find at this networking event one really good collaborative partner who thinks like me. If you walk in with that top of mind, it becomes a tuning fork. And no matter how large the room is, you've had this happen, you can hear across the cacophony of everybody talking, someone talking about what you're in love with, something that you're working on. It's like two tuning forks. You're on a different thought frequency. That's pretty much what's happening. You've risen above the noise of general networking because you set an intention and you focused your mind on that, and you're now in love with it. And then over a period of about 3 months minimum, with one goal, if you follow this pattern, you go through 3 phases to build perfect faith that it's going to happen for you. You see people, you think that there are coincidences happening, but they're not coincidences. You are cause in the matter. Hello, Sunil. How are you, my friend? So glad that you're here. Make sure I didn't leave anybody out. Excellent. Okay. The way we build faith is by visualizing in our mind's eye a couple times a day for a few minutes, or already having the thing that we've set our mind to. Imagine what it's like. You're inside it, the house you wanted, the car that you wanted, the new home that you wanted. You can smell things. You feel the floor beneath your feet. That's Mary Morrissey's 5 sensorizing. When you put yourself in the present, in the future, it jacks up all your cells, the vibration in your cells. And all the proteins in your cell move in one direction, and there's a spring in your step. This is when you do this intentionally. When you're not paying attention, the same thing happens, but you might stub your toe or feel lousy because by default, negative things are coming in. And then we talked about imagination. There's 2 kinds of imagination. There's creative imagination when you get this wild idea out of the blue. Never thought it before, but gosh, right? It's a gift from the universe. It's yours. That's creative imagination. As soon as you make your mind up, oh, I'm going to do this, immediately your mind starts searching through the records of synthetic imagination. All your mistakes, all the things you've learned over your life start to fill in the puzzle of what it's going to take to complete this thing that you don't know how to do. Then, because you have this definite purpose, you learn that it's very easy to make a decision. Decision is the opposite of procrastination. Decision is easy if you have a definite purpose. Excuse me. People procrastinate because they don't have a definite purpose. They're not compelled. They're not in love with this thing. They haven't built faith in their ability of deservability. So you see, without definite purpose, none of it really works. And then last week we did persistence, the sustained effort necessary to induce faith. So the more of these that you use of the 13 principles of success, the sooner and the more joyfully you will complete these things that you want to do that you haven't done before. Now, if it's getting a job, you've had jobs before, but your desire would be a much higher income from it, like outrageous income, something that would light you up and you've never gotten before, but you deserve it. You see, so you don't know how. You have looked for positions before, but this work will set a vibration that when you go and communicate with people, whether it's by email, by resume, or right in front of their face, your vibration will attract theirs vibration. If yours is high, they're going to see the best in you. So it's a little trick. Persistence, desire, and purpose are the minimum 3 to achieve wealth, health, and happiness. Without those, you can't do it with just two. It just won't happen. So you have to get around here. Next week, we'll do the sixth sense. Ready? Here we go. All right. Now I want to make this a different size. All right. So let me see if there's any questions in here. Sunil is here. Hello, hello, hello. Bobby Lee, Sunil. Oh, I love all these comments. Thank you so much. Hi, Sharon Rose. Sharon Rose Winfield is here. So remember that the contest today for 2 tickets for next weekend, 1 ticket for 2 days, valued at $175, Friday and Saturday. If you really, really want to go, it's going to be the best question and the best, most juicy comment, or the comment that draws the most dialogue amongst other attendees. Okay. So we're going to look at the 7 levels of conscious awareness, and don't worry that they're all here. This is the design of the graphic, and I will speak to it. So you'll have the visual image. I want you to look over to the left first. So on the left, you see the vertical arrow, and the lowest level of awareness, of conscious awareness we humans experience, is reactive and subjective. Where we're moving is to become subjective and reactive is to become responsive and objective. So really learning and outweighing our fears. But it all starts in the beginning. Everybody goes in to begin the same way, okay? So let's start here. So watch this arrow as we move up. And the first one is the animal level of awareness. This is fight or flight. I'm right, you're wrong. This is total reaction. The trick here is that when you're on this level, or someone you know is totally reactive, it's the lowest level of awareness. They're not thinking, they're simply reacting. They don't know that there's any other place to be yet. So they're unaware of the other levels. So it can feel really lonely, and it can feel, mostly lonely. And it's easy to beat up on yourself if you think everybody's at this animal level. Now, you still have it when you cut someone off in traffic or you flip the bird to someone. Not that I've ever done that, but we're not perfect, okay? So that's the first one. Remember, it's reactive, subjective, not really thinking. It's about I'm being right, you're being wrong. Usually these people are victims, right? And they just don't know of another way to be, okay? Now, if you have any questions, Mary Kay has a question. All right, so let's bring this on. When I visualize my future, I also visualize working on it happily and energetically. Is this helping, or is it actually slowing me down? No, it's helping. The more you visualize, it's the DNA of manifestation. Visualization is what drives up your cellular vibration. Mind is not an organ like the brain. It is a cellular activity. So when you're feeling lousy, that's when I stub my toe, right? Because I'm not focused on happiness. But when you're feeling great, Bruce Lipton and Richard Brody, 2 scientists, have proven that mind is a cellular activity because they've watched the proteins in each one of our cells when we're happy and when we're thinking positive thoughts and we have a high cellular vibration, love, kindness, when that's how we aspire to live our lives as much as possible, all the proteins move in one direction. So your thoughts affect your body. That's how people heal themselves. And we already know that the negative thoughts have built negative neural pathways. Completing things you've never done before, like we're talking about, achieving things that you failed at, begins to erode your belief that you're not smart enough, because you are, or that you're not good enough, or that you can't do it. Okay, great question. Thank you. Yeah, excitement is a key. When you're in the house that you wanted to buy, of which you had no idea how you're going to do it, and it's on the beach and you can smell the seagulls and oops, one pooped on the deck and the kids are coming, I got to clean that up. It really excites you. You want to be feeling really ebullient as you do this process, but it only needs to be a few minutes, a couple times a day, right? You still get to live your life, but you're doing this intentionally. And that's very different than by default. Okay, great question. Let's go on to the next level. Now, the next level is mass consciousness. Notice it's a little bit higher, right? The idea is to move up here. And what I want you to do during this process is calculate where you are in business. This can be done for family, for education, for church, for health and wellness. Which level of awareness are you on? But let's do business, whether you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, a small business owner, a franchise owner, an emerging enterprise, anything like that. You want to first calculate, well, where are you? Now, you never reach something and then never waffle. But in general, in business, I know where you are, and you will see where you are. So the mass consciousness certainly remembers what it was like to be animal, but is a little bit more responsive and objective, okay? And these are the people that follow the crowd. What do you think? What do you think? These are the people that get way too much feedback from anybody. This is where we talk about having an accountability partner, somebody who wants to look for your greatness. And so throwing your ideas out to the general population is going to bring in a lot of negativity, and we tend to look at that before the good things. So this is now, again, mass consciousness is unaware of anything above. Gleefully mopping seagull poop. No, actually, we could say that it's Elizabeth's house at the beach, and Millie has pooped on the deck, and she's cleaning that up before the kids come over. Okay. All right. Hey, Meryl, you are here. Okay. I know it's crashed, and we've got the YouTube link in. If Lay, if you could drop that link in, that would be great. And excellent. And I'll turn on the comments. I think I can now. Let's see. That's pretty good. Yes, let's do that. Okay. So I can get the YouTube comments too. So if you're on the mass level, you listen to everybody. Too many cooks spoil the broth, but it's a natural progression. Think about yourself. Are you here? You've been here in business. We all have. Do you know people in business that are at this level? Okay, this is the beginning of the insights. So this is mass consciousness, following the crowd, not thinking very well. Okay, not really thinking. Got it? Not thinking your best. Okay, now the next level is aspiration, the desire to be, do, or have more. So you've reached this point. Well, is this all there is? Is this the only place I can fill a need in business? It gets dull when you get here. And this is a very big crossroads between aspiration and the next one. Now, remember that aspiration, you now have this desire, this itch to go beyond what you're already doing. You don't know what it is, but you got the itch. Okay. Now, you'll notice the little clouds. Those clouds represent all ideas which are already here, and they flow from the ether to our conscious mind. We decide if we're going to work on it. And if we are, we, through visualization and intention in consistent spaced intervals over time, achieve what we want. If we don't and we give up on it, it floats right back into the ether and someone else gets the idea. And this explains the phenomenon of, but that was my project. Don't you remember? How did they get it? They stole my idea. No, you let it go. It was your choice to let it go. So wish the person who got the idea next, probably with all your work attached, because you let it go. It's not going to disappear because you decided not to do it. That wouldn't make any sense. So look at where we're going on the left here. We're nearly halfway, aren't we? This is so good. Do you see yourself? Where are you? Have you been in all these places? Okay, let's just see here. What do you do if accountability partner doesn't want to be held accountable? Wrong accountability partner. In one of these, good question. In one of these, I have the actual list in my book. I don't know if I have this one up here. My 2014 bestseller tells you exactly how to pick an accountability partner. You got to pick someone who's on the same thought frequency as you at the same level of awareness. If they don't want to do it, next, right? That's not accountability partners. Now, sometimes coaches will hold people accountable, but for me, coaching is not about telling you what to do. It's always been, I know you already know, and I'm going to ask you leading questions to get you to realize you already knew. Like I said, some coaches say, do this, don't do this. That's not how I learned. I like you to figure it out for yourself. I don't want to be told. That's my nature. I'm a Sagittarius with a Virgo rising. Don't tell me what to do and what I should do. Suggest, consider, mention the idea, but you will trigger me. Leslie, you should do it this way, because to me, should means that I should give up my standards, values, and ideals and my boundaries and follow yours. Well, I don't want to do that. Not unless I'm intentionally following someone who's teaching me, in which case I will surrender completely. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Everybody getting this? Let me see. I want to see who else has a question or a comment. Oh, yes. Well, we're glad I mean, you were missing Merrill. That's why I asked Leanna, someone to please page you. Okay. Yes, it's helping you decide what you want to do. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's go to the next one, shall we? Look where we are. We're almost halfway. So we're becoming more responsive and objective through practice. This isn't an overnight thing, right? Okay, let's go to the fourth level. Now, this is the big one right here. This is where most people run back to level 1 or 2. This is called the individual level, where you step away from the crowd. You take action without asking everybody, right? Without, you're no longer in any of these other levels. This is the big one, though, because you've got to take action on your own. And that's a big shift. And now you're at halfway, aren't you? And you also don't know what's coming above, but you do have access. Those little clouds represent how many ideas roughly you get from the universe. The idea is no matter how you get on the lower level, you won't even notice them. You're too busy licking your own wounds, right? On the mass level, you might get 1 or 2 ideas, but the truth is your mind is very busy asking everybody else what their opinion is about what you should do, right? There's a lot of fear there, fear of criticism, fear of judgment. Well, I better find out or I'm going to do it wrong. And then we reach the place of aspiration when we have this deep desire to be, do, or have more than what we've already had. Is this all there is? And then the individual. This is the big step. And all of you have been through this. I know that you've stepped away from the crowd. It's important to think, though, in business, think about how you might be dealing with people on the lower levels. That's the key to this. After you figure out where you play most of the time, you're not perfect and you may drop all the way down to animal. And I'll show you how not to do that in business, okay? But certainly if you're looking at public and family, you know, brothers and sisters fight. So honestly, it's very hard to be at the same level of awareness vibrationally that you are in business, where you're more objective, than in a family gathering when you have a long history with parents and cousins, aunts, brothers and sisters. It's a little more difficult to grow in awareness in that area. Of course, if you ask Linda Meyer, what we would do was let go of one of those family members, because I had one that was a narcissist and we were in a circle for decades. And I finally had to let go of that person. And life changed for me. I couldn't change them. Okay, so individual is big. Now, you get more ideas here. The universe will give you more ideas, and you'll be able to accept them because you're not down here worrying about, reacting and what did I do wrong? And I know I can't do this. Or the mass level is well, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Or the next one, which is the desire to be two or have more. But it's when you reach here that you have stepped away from the crowd. So think about when you have stepped away from the crowd, when you decided to go further without knowing how, and you learned so much. Okay. Now we're going to talk about discipline, which maps to persistence, by the way, which is the 8th principle of success. Discipline is now the ability to give yourself a command and follow it. And you'll notice in the mantras, it's about being your word, right? Completing what you said you would do, only missing something if there's an emergency only you can handle. Set your appointments based on your values, standards, and ideals, which are always evolving. Okay, so they don't stay. They grow while you grow. Your standards, your values, your ideals, your dreams get more clear. You get higher up at a 30,000-foot view to look at your life. You're more objective. So discipline is big. And leaders need to have this. At this point, you all are here at the level of discipline. You're aware of all of these because you've gone through them yourself at one point in your life. And then we're getting into experience. So you're going to be 5 or 6, roughly, and some 7. So 6 is experience, learning through experience. So I've studied this work and taught it for years. So the teaching of this work with you each week makes it clearer for me. And so I'm learning myself while I'm experiencing my expertise. So you're at 5 or 6. You might have just come out of 4 in business. And then the final one, look where you are now. So your life is pretty well objective and responsive. And you're feeling really good, mostly really good. Everyone told Elizabeth not to get a puppy. Opinions, and some of them very visual. My intuition said, get that puppy, and nothing anyone told me came true. Excellent. That's Millie, who pooped on the deck. I love it. I love it. All right. Here's another question. Thank you for that, Elizabeth. I love it. How do we train our minds to believe at the level of our goals actually acquire? It takes the whole journey until you achieve it is how. So that's a very good question. There's a process that I'm teaching you. And this is what I did for 65 business quarters. And if enough of you want to come work with me, I will teach you every week. We will set a goal. I will do the whole program with you, which I did 65 times. 500 clients achieved, 500 client goals were achieved. I didn't have 500 clients. 500 goals were achieved over 65 business quarters. I'm telling you, this is the process. And over the years, it's evolved to include so much more. And the program is the 8 essentials of performance and achievement. And much of what you're seeing here comes from there. Okay. So the way you do it is through repetition. You set a goal that you really, really want to accomplish, that's heart-centered, that you don't know how to do. It would make a big difference in the world. And then you have to commit to at least 12 weeks. I mean, that's exactly how you create faith in your ability and deservability. Now, faith is you know what you could do it. Belief is I have a firm opinion. We're effectively going for the same kind of faith in our fears. because we know we failed. We can tell you exactly when we failed and how we felt because we keep playing it over and over again, which further instills faith in your inability and your lack of deservability. So you must go through the process of stepping out in faith without knowing how, right? It's very important. And in order to outweigh your fear, which is very natural during the process, you have to have a desire and a love that's strong enough for you to go and say, wait a minute, before you give up, go back to why you wanted to do it. Do not get hung on how. So it takes time, Leanna. And like I said, if anybody really wants to do this, I'll open up a cohort and I'll take you through. There is an investment, but I haven't done it in a couple of years because I just love doing this. But this is how. Hello, Mike LeBlanc. So nice to see you. And Mary Weckerly is here. Hi, Mary. Gosh, I haven't seen you in a long time. I hope that answered your question. There's a contest today. Mike LeBlanc and all the new people that have come in for a ticket to the 2-day event next Friday and Saturday, the virtual wellness experience. It is valued at $175. And the winner of this ticket, as I'm a sponsor, will have the best comment, the best question, or lead off the biggest dialogue and comments today. And you have to want to go, right? You can't just win it because you're smart. Right? Otherwise, you'd all win, right? You really have to want to, right? I don't want you to get the ticket and then not attend. It's 10 to 5, Friday and Saturday. These are 45-minute presentations, so there's time to get up and have a little bite to eat, take care of some business. And there are recordings for 30 days. Okay, so let's see. I hope that answered your question. The thrust of my last remaining years is to think, and grow rich in the process. Never too old, never too late. That's right. I'm totally with you. All right. Now, oh, good. We're doing well. Okay. So the final level is mastery. Now, you've experienced moments of mastery, as I have. But again, you're not really stuck on these levels. But we're in business, and mastery was when, you can just feel it. I can feel it when things are going just right, and I'm being very masterful in my articulation of the concepts that I know so well, right? So it's like when you're a kid, you run through the hall and you jump to see if you can hit the door jamb, and you do this year after year. Finally, you tap it. And then after that, by the time you're a teenager, you can grab onto that door jamb. That's what mastery is. You never actually hold on for a long time, but you do know the experience. And it is the most enthralling experience when you feel your own mastery. So now what I want to share with you, here they are. Okay. Yeah, it's actually 12 weeks, Coach Carrie. We need 12 weeks to do that. It's the 8 essentials, but there's a lot of accountability. There's also, there's a lot of work your goal could be something like starting your own live series in 12 weeks. I've done that before, where I teach you how to produce your own show. I produce it with you. We get over the heebie-jeebies and the nerves about public speaking. We learn about consistency, how to show up to expand your community. There's a lot of different things that you can do in 12 weeks. And we sit down and talk about that. And I make sure that those 12 laws of achievement that I've shown you several times and will again, the checklist supports your goal. Okay. So it'll be fun. All right. Now, here's how you use it in business. So you're up here 5, 6, feeling 7. Okay. Right. And you've got someone in the company who's down on 1 or 2. You want to be careful that you don't get pulled into or sucked into their drama. What you do here is remind yourself where your level of awareness is, that you're primarily responding and objective. You've got triggering pretty well on hold, and you know not to get sucked in to the negative vibration of someone who's hurting. But people are hurting on the lower level and the lower levels. So you step down, maintaining your awareness to their level, let's say animal level, and all they want is to be heard. Life is crummy for them, and they have complaints. You're the listener. And they'll explain to you what happened. Then you'll repeat back. This is what you do in sales too, actually. But you'll repeat back what I heard. Oh, and so someone said something not nice, or you were late, or something happened. You got the report wrong and you're very unhappy. And so you tell them what you heard. And then they're going to say, yes, that's it. Or they're going to say, well, not exactly. So you say, well, tell me some more. What am I missing? So then they go on and they're really flushing their system out of all this fear while you're listening and not absorbing the energy, but listening objectively, listening for what's missing for them, the presence of which would have them take a step up. But mostly what they want is for someone to get them, for someone to listen. It's really that way. You will make a difference in these people's lives. You've never lost where you are. You have to do this intentionally. I'm going to help this person, but I'm going to remember where I am and what my service is about and what my purpose is about. You won't get dragged in, and that will, if you do get dragged in, you get on the same level with them. You've been there. You don't want to be there. Okay. So this is how you want to think about this now. Where are you? And then the next time you run into someone in business, wherever you are, that has to do with business, and you see someone hurting, complaining a lot, miserable, unhappy with the way things are going, you know that at the same time unhappy things are happening, we could choose to look for the good things that are happening. But they don't know this yet. They haven't practiced it. They've only practiced this level. So I hope you like this. We're very close to the end. Oh, Leanna. Okay, excellent, excellent. Mike says, the universe had me here to hear this moment. Thanks for the blessing, Leslie. You're welcome. Okay. You will find yourself waffling. And if you're talking about driving, you're going to be down probably on level 2 and wanting to be better on level 3. Okay. So excellent. All right, let's do the meditation. Now, it's really important that this information, that you intentionally take this 2 minutes and lock in your current thoughts, not to be forgotten. All right, so everybody, take a moment, sit back, get yourself comfortable. All right. Now take in a slow, deep breath through your nose. And then let it exhale through your mouth and let it fall out of you like a soft exhale of relief. Now, in your mind's eye, imagine yourself stepping onto the familiar path of a park near your home. Closing your eyes works well, but you don't have to. The air is cool, touched with the scent of wet earth and new growth. Early spring leaves glisten with raindrops, each one catching the muted morning light. You pull your hood a little closer, feeling the gentle patter of rain tapping against the fabric. Can you hear it? With each step, you sense your awareness widening like a lens that's slowly opening. You hear the rhythmic drizzle on the path, the distant rush of water moving through the gutters, the soft rustle of branches waking from winter. Let these sounds draw you deeper into presence. Feel the ground beneath your feet solid, steady, supporting you without question. Notice how your body naturally adjusts and how your breath syncs with your pace. This is awareness growing from the inside out. Now, as you walk, imagine the conscious awareness you gain today as a small, bright seed resting at the center of your chest. With every inhale through your nose, the rain nourishes it. And with every long exhale through your mouth, it sends out tiny roots, anchoring, expanding, and integrating. See it glowing a little bit brighter with each step. You don't have to force anything. Awareness grows simply because you're paying attention. Now pause for a moment under a tree. Raindrops fall in slow, shimmering beads from the branches above. Let one deep breath fill you with the clarity of this moment. And say quietly in your mind, I am awake to my life. I notice, I grow, I expand. My awareness strengthens with every step I take. Feel those words settle into the warm light, into you like warm light. And as you begin waking, sense the world around you with fresh eyes, the rain, the earth, the soft colors of early spring. And know that this awareness is now part of you, woven into your mind, ready to guide you long after the rain stops. Take one final breath and gently open your eyes when you're ready. So over, forgive me for that. Oh, goodness. All right. So next week, I suggest you read The Sixth Sense. Today and during the week, review your own level of awareness in business and look at it in family. Look to see if they're different or the same. And you may want to listen to the recording of this again in case you missed something. The more times you listen to it, the more clear you'll become about how to apply it. And next week on Monday, 10:45 a.m., Mind Over Matter Monday is happy to have Sharon Rose Winfield as our guest teacher. 10:45 a.m. Eastern on Monday. So please join us. Another thank you to Guiding Brilliant Writers Publishing House for sponsoring this show every week. We so appreciate you. Nicole Angai Galindo. And that completes today's, let me get this, lesson. Well, there we go. All right, everybody, I'm going to play the outro. I hope you've had a great day, and I'll be looking after lunch. I'm going to look and see who asked the best question, and then I'll chat or started the biggest dialogue or had the insight that was the most profound. And then I will pick the first two or three to double check that this is what you want to do. You want to attend next Friday and Saturday. That is your intention. And it's okay if you don't want to. Absolutely okay. But it's important that you get the benefit of this $175 ticket. So I'd love for you to win it. And so with that, everybody, have a fabulous weekend. Spring is on the rise. I don't know if the Punxsutawney Phil is done with us for the winter. But with that, I send you all my love and appreciation for being here every week because you light up my life. You really